in that set apart place. So the sanctuary had a purpose. Now we know the Most High fills the earth, right? And the cities and everywhere the Spirit of the Most High dwells. But he wanted to have that, he chose that we'd have a place to commune, to convocate, to gather, right? A house of houses, a chief house, right? And it was required that everyone would give to build this house, right? It wasn't that the Most High was going to send down, what's needed. We as a body, as a people, had to work together to build this house. All right? Hold that and get Haggai. Haggai is a minor prophet in the Bible. And we're going to look at chapter 1. Take a look at it. 1 verse 10. Because this is not, in the time of Moses we did this, but that's not the only time that we did this. Verse 12. No. So verse 1. Verse 1. Chapter 1, verse 1. Haggai.
Haggai 1, verse 1. In the second year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the first day of the month, came the word of Yah by Haggai the prophet,
right,
unto Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel, governor of Jehoiada, and to Joshua the son of Joedek, the high priest, saying, Thus speak of Yah of hosts, saying, This people say, the time is not come, the time that Yah's house should be built.
Right, so the prophet is talking to the king and the high priest, saying that these people say, what people are saying this? He said, these people say, which people is this? This is all the Hebrew Israelites. Okay? He's saying that these people say it's not time to build a house. Read on.
Then came the word of Yah to Haggai the prophet, saying, It is time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses,
right?
And this house lie waste.
Right.
Now therefore thus said Yah of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have so much and bring in little.
Right.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Go ahead.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
Go ahead.
Ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
Go ahead.
And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
Go ahead.
Thus saith Yah of hosts, consider your ways.
Do what?
Consider your ways.
Right, so he's saying consider your ways. Meaning that there's blessings in building the house. And the reason why the people wasn't being blessed because they wasn't building the house. So he's saying, why are you saying don't build a house when there's blessings to build a house? What's the purpose of the house being built? What do we read in Deuteronomy? That what? So that we can gather so the Most High could dwell amongst us. Right? That's what the house purpose is for. So the house has a purpose in the sight of the Most High. We can convocate. Right? This building here is just a regular building. So, it could be used for many different purposes. But when we use it for Most High's purpose, right, it becomes a gathering place. Does everybody understand that? It's just wood and stone. There's nothing special about this building until you get here. Right? And now the building becomes special. To the word is open. Now the building becomes set apart. Right? To the law is being spoken. Now it becomes what? A hallowed place. Right? So it's what happens there that makes the place. Everybody understand that? It's not the place. 'Cause a lot of people go into a place thinking, oh, this is a holy place. Wait a minute. If righteousness is not being done there, then it's not holy. Right? It's defiled. The opposite of being holy is defiled. Right? Like any other place where sin is taking place. Right? Let's read on.
In Haggai?
Huh?
In Haggai?
Yeah, in Haggai. Come. So he said, consider your ways. Go ahead.
8th verse. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build a house.
And do what?
And build the house.
And build the house. Read on.
And I will take pleasure in it.
And what will the Most High do?
And I will take pleasure in it.
And the Most High will take pleasure in it. You build a house, and the Most High said, I'll take pleasure in it. But He's not going to build a house. Everybody understand that? He's not going to do it. He ain't going to zap it down from the heavens. You build a house, and I'll take pleasure in it. Read on.
And I will be glorified, saith Yah.
And I will be glorified. The Most High will be glorified. Why? Because you did this work and built the house. Go ahead.
Ye looked for much, and lo, it came in too little.
Right, so we do a lot of work in the world. We look for a lot of things. We look for to prosper in different ways. But what? It comes to little. It's not exactly what we aspire to. We have thoughts in our minds, things we're trying to accomplish, but it comes short. Right? Read on.
And when ye brought it home, I did blow upon it.
What did the Most High do?
I did blow upon it.
The Heavenly Father said, I blew on what you brought home, and what happened? Go ahead.
Why? Saith Yah of hosts. Because of mine house that is waste, and you run every man unto his own house.
So what does that mean that he blew on it? He what? He destroyed it. He scattered it. You brought in some, and the little that you brought together, say, okay, I got this. Most of it said, I blew on it. I scattered it. Now you're like, man, what happened to all I had? It's almost like it disappeared. Right? Because most of it said, I blew on it. Why? Because my house, you're ignoring. All right? Read on.
Therefore the heaven over you is stayed from dew.
So now the heavens is stayed from its dew. What does the dew represent? Blessings. So he said the heavens is stayed from dew. Read on.
And the earth is stayed from her fruit.
And the earth stayed from her fruit. What does that represent? Prosperity. Go ahead.
And I called for a drought upon the land.
You call for a what?
A drought upon the land.
So this is how the Most High operate with us when we turn our back on Him. Does everybody understand that? He called for a drought. That's a severe lack. Right? Read on.
And upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, and upon that which is ground, bringeth forth.
Right.
And upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all the labor of the hands. Then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, with all the remnant of the people, obeyed the voice of Yah their power, and the words of Haggai the prophet, as Yahweh their power had sent him, and the people did fear before Yah. Right,
so what? When they heard all this from the prophet, they obeyed. They said, you know what? Let's go and build that house right now. Right? Because the Most High is angry with us. Right? And when He's angry with us, there's no blessings coming to us. So a lot of times we wonder, our people wonder why certain things happen to us as a people. It's because the Most High is angry with us. Had He been good with us, then there comes the blessings. But sometimes we try to get comfortable in the punishment instead of getting off punishment. Right? Let's do the things that gets us back to being blessed to the Most High and get away from the curses. Right? And one of those things that we're reading about today is what? Building the sanctuaries. There's small sanctuaries like this all throughout the four corners of the earth, where brothers and sisters such as yourselves are gathered together on the Shabbat to praise the Most High and to learn of His way and His will, through His mouthpiece, His teachers, His elders that He set up to do this work. Right? This is a blessing from the Most High Yah. Right? This is not by the will of the hands of man, but by the will of the Most High. All right? The message comes from the heavens to build a house, just like it was in the beginning. We're going to go back to Exodus. So as we came out of Egypt, we going in the wilderness. The Most High puts the word, build a house, so that we can gather, so He can gather with us. Okay? We know Yah was with us. The chariot is above our head. We just came out of Egypt. But we still had to build a house. We still need to gather. Right? There's a thought in Israel where I could just gather on my own. Right? How could you gather on your own? Right? How could you be a brother to yourself or a sister to yourself? You have to get around your sisters and your brothers. Everybody understand that? This is convocating. This is a part of coming back to your heritage and pleasing the Most High. Every high holy day the Most High gave us is a holy convocation. That's not by coincidence. It's by design. The Most High requires us to come together. Right? It's a requirement. Whether it be easy or difficult, it is a requirement. Right? In righteousness to come together. Right? So that if the Most High requires us to come together, what would Satan want us to do? Separate. Social distance. Right? You know, he wanna cause isolation. Just cause us to scatter. But that's not what the Most High called us to do. So in these last days, we gonna come together. This is Yah's will being performed. All right, let's go back to Exodus 25. So we see in the time of Zerubbabel, they were being cursed because they weren't building the house. All right. So if someone tells you, oh, you don't have to go nowhere, you could just, serve the Most High all by yourself. Right? You could keep the commandments, but the Most High requires us to what? To gather. It's part of righteousness. All right? We'll pick it up. Exodus 25.
Exodus 25 and 8. And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them.
Right. Let them make me a sanctuary. What's the word sanctuary mean? Nope. That's the word synagogue means. What does sanctuary mean? What does it mean to be sanctified? Set apart. So a set apart, a sanctuary is a set apart place. A place where other things don't happen there. This is a place where it's a set apart place. It's a place where the word of the Most High, His will reigns. Right? It's a word where His will is being spoken. His will is being, His actions are being laid down. All right? You got your hand up?
I was going to say sacred.
Sacred. Right? These are all, this root word in all these is to be sanctified, or, the sanctity, meaning that to be separated, set apart for righteousness' sake. Okay, read.
According to all that I showed thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall make an ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof.
Who remembers how long a cubit is? Right, from your elbow to your longest finger is a cubit. So if you was measuring something, a cubit of a man, right? So not a child's cubit, but a full-grown man cubit from his longest finger to his elbow. Is how they used to measure cubits, right? So he said, build an ark, right? An ark is something that carries. You carry stuff in it, right? That's what an ark is. It means you're carrying something in it. So this is the ark that's being built, right? Let's read.
And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold.
Right.
Within and without shalt thou overlay it, and shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold.
Right, so this whole thing was made out of wood, but you overlay it with gold. Why didn't they make it out of pure gold? Why didn't they make the whole thing out of gold? Let me see who's thinking. It would be way too heavy. This is something you have to carry. So to give it the appearance of gold, right? It was gold plated, right? Or gold overlaid. It was made out of shittim wood, which is a very strong wood, right? But a light wood. and you overlay it inside and out with gold. So when you look upon it, it looks to be what? Gold. Right? So you covered the whole thing, wrapped it in gold, but you was able to pick it up. All right? Read on.
14. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark,
Right.
that the ark may be borne with them.
Right? They be born. The word born means to what? Carry. Right? The word born means to carry. It's an old English word for carry. All right? So we got to know these words. All right? Because you're going to see that come up other places, the word born. It means to carry. All right? So here's an example of the ark right here. It looks like it's solid gold, but it's not. What is it made out of? It's made out of wood, right? And this is a gold overlay that's over the wood that it's made out of. Okay, read on.
15. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it.
I still need that.
And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee.
Right.
And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof.
Right, so let's take a look. You have the 4 rings to put the staffs through so you can carry it. Then he said inside the ark is going to be the testimony. What's the testimony? The 10 Commandments, right? The covenant, right? That's within the ark. All right. All right, go ahead.
18. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shalt thou make them, in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub unto the one end, and the other cherub unto the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof.
Right, so they have an example here. I don't know those cherubims. I don't know about these, right? They don't look too cheruby. But anyway, they don't look too angelic to me. But this is an example. This is just a physical example. The mercy seat is in between, and then you have the 2 cherubims on the 2 sides. The cherubims are angels. But when you read about the angels, they don't exactly look like that. All right, we can go over what the cherubims look like in a moment. But the 2 cherubims will be on each side of the seat, facing the seat. Right? So some of what they have here depicted is, almost correct. It's an artist's rendition of what's written in the book. Right? Go ahead.
20. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on the high, covering the mercy seat with their wings.
Right.
And their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be.
Right.
And thou shalt put the mercy seat above the ark. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. Mm-hmm. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony of all things which I give thee in a commandment unto the children of Israel. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof.
All right, now we're going to go over to the table, but before we get to fully go into the table, let me correct these cherubims. Let's get to Ezekiel, the 10th chapter, and the 7th verse. Ezekiel 10 and verse 7. Let's correct these cherubims a bit. All right. It's all right. You can just keep that up there. We'll correct it in the word. All right.
Ezekiel 10 verse 7. Ezekiel 10 and 7. And 1 cherub stretched forth his hand from between the cherubims unto the fire that was between the cherubims.
Right.
And took thereof, and put it into his hand of him that was clothed with linen, who took it and went out. And there appeared in cherubims the form of a man's hand under their wings.
Right.
And when I looked, behold, the 4 wheels by the cherubims, 1 wheel by 1 cherub, and another wheel by another cherub, and the appearance of the wheels was the color of a beryl stone.
Right.
And as for the appearances, they four in one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides. They turned not as they went, but to the place whither the head looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went. And their whole body, and their backs, and their hands, and their wings, and the wheels were full of eyes round about.
Right.
Even the wheels that they four had.
Right. So the wheels are referring to their chariots. All right. So each cherubim had a chariot nearby. And the wheels moved as they moved, but that was their mode of transportation. Read on.
As for the wheels, it was crying unto them in my hearing, O wheel. And every one had four faces. The first face was the face of a cherub. The second face was the face of a man. And the third face of a lion. And the fourth, the face of an eagle.
Right.
And the cherubims were lifted up. This is the living creature that I saw by the river of Kabar.
Right.
And when the cherubims went, the wheels went by them. And when the cherubims lifted up their wings to mount upon from the earth, the same wheels also turned not from beside them. When they stood, these stood. And when they were lifted up, these lifted up themselves also. For the spirit of the living creature was in them.
Right, so that the spirit, their wheels, their chariot moved along with them every which way they went. But to show you that the cherubs were more angelic in appearance than that picture that we had. It looked like two men with wings. Cherubs are a lot more angelic or celestial body than that. Okay? They have a lot more going on when you see a cherub than just a man with wings. They would have you believe that, but that you get that appearance from what? Like Christianity, a lot of their depictions, right? But to get even a better example, give me Ezekiel 1 and 10 also. Ezekiel 1 and verse 10. So these cherubims had faces, four wings. It's going to go more in depth in their bodies, the color of them, their brown skin. Right? So we're gonna get more depth of what a cherub looks like. So we know that we can't be fooled with these other depictions of a cherub. Matter of fact, I think verse 4. It's on verse 4. Ezekiel 1 and 4.
Ezekiel 1 verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber. Out of the midst of the fire, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
So one had one of their likenesses is it looked kind of like a man, right? Read on.
And everyone had four faces, and everyone had four wings.
Just like we read in Ezekiel 10, they have four faces. Go ahead.
And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot.
Right, so they didn't have regular feet. What kind of feet they had?
Calf feet.
Like a calf's foot.
Calf foot.
Right? Like a calf's foot. What is a calf? What kind of foot does a calf have?
Clove.
Hoofs. Right? Cloven hoofs. Okay, read on.
And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
What color were they?
Burnished brass.
So you take brass and burn it. What color is that? Dark. So they were dark skinned. So there's no little white angels with bow and arrows. Right? Talking about Cupid. Right? That doesn't exist. All right?
Valentine's Day.
Right? There's dark-skinned, mighty creatures are cherubims, not soft creatures that not like fairy tales with pixie dust or something like that. Right? We're talking about mighty creatures in the sight of the Most High. Go ahead.
Their wings were joined one to another.
Uh-huh.
They turned not when they went.
Right.
They went everyone straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four had the face of an eagle.
Right. So these are all powerful beasts. And man. Right? Man, lion, ox, eagle. Read on.
Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another.
Right, so how many wings did they have? Each cherub, how much wings did he have? Who caught on? 4. 4 wings. All right, and the wings was joined to each other, meaning that they had wings, 2 sets of wings, one's above the other. So now you're getting a better depiction of what a cherub looks like. They didn't quite look like what they put on top of that ark. Right? They looked like a man with a robe and wings was popping out the back of his robe. Right? So we know that that's not what was on top of the ark. It was a lot more detailed vision that was spoke about in the scripture. Go ahead.
11 verse. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward, whither the Spirit was to go. They went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps, it went up and down among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning.
So how fast did they move? Like a flash of lightning. I don't know what he got up there now. Nah, we don't get rid of that. We don't get rid of that. All right, so, all right, as a flash of lightning. So that's how they move. Right? Like light moves from one spot to the other. It's almost like they appear one spot to the other, but they actually move that fast. Zaikwa? That's right. Exactly. They move like the chariots do. Quickly. Here, one place at one point, some place at another. That's how fast they move. Okay? So now we know that the cherubims are mighty creatures. They're not just, little babies with wings. All right? No matter what Esau paints in his cathedrals, in his churches, in his mosques, those are all false images. Everybody understand that? That is nothing what your cherubims look like. All right? They're mighty, powerful beasts in the sight of the Most High. All right, let's go back to Exodus.
Right, Esau even created they got a superhero called Flash.
Right.
Right, so they go into scriptures, they see the attributes of the powers that the Most High have in the scriptures, and they make all these superheroes out of it.
That's right. It's where they get an idea from all these X-Men and all these things. From being what they saw and heard about the Lord's celestial beings, celestial bodies. Okay, we have terrestrial bodies. Our bodies don't do all that. But they are bodies celestial that are greater than ours. Okay? Let's read.
Exodus 25 and 20. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above the ark. And in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there will I meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat.
Right, so there his spirit will come down and would be above the mercy seat, and that's how the high priest, when he's in the Holy of Holies, would communicate with the host of heaven. Okay, let's read.
From between the 2 cherubims, which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I will give thee, in the commandment unto the children of Israel.
Right.
Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof.
Right, so now we're talking about the table. Right? So now we have the ark, and now we're building the table. This is the table that went in the sanctuary, in the holies. Let's see what's going to be upon this table. So it's, how many cubits tall is it? A cubit and a half. About how much feet is that? A cubit and a half. How long is a cubit?
12 inches.
How long is a cubit? I hope it be more than 12 inches. Because you're a short man, little man, right? It's at least, it's about 18 to 20 inches a cubit, right? So it's a cubit and a half. It's about 30 inches long, right? So it's about 3 feet tall, right? It's about 3 feet tall. It's about the average height of what? A table, right? If you look at the average height of a table, what's the average height of a table? It's not different, right? It's about 3 feet high from the floor, right? The average height of a table. All right, let's go.
And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about.
Right.
And thou shalt make unto it a border of an handbreadth round about.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about.
Right, so there's a border about a handbreadth. What's a handbreadth? This wide. There's a border going around the table about this wide. This is what you call a handbreadth, across your hand. Right, so we used to use our bodies to measure things. So he said, okay, it's a handbreadth, a border goes around the table. So now we see, can you look up a table for me? All right, for the sanctuary. All right, go ahead.
And thou shalt make for it 4 wings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Over against the border shall the rings be 4 places of the staves to bear the table.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof to cover withal. Of pure gold shalt thou make them.
So everything you saw on the table and the table itself, all gold. Right? All gold. Wood overlaid with gold. So when you saw this, it was very royal. All right? We didn't take our gold and hide it somewhere in Fort Knox. There ain't no gold in Fort Knox, I know, but we don't take our gold and hide it somewhere. We actually use the gold. Right? We used our gold, our silver, our onyx, all the precious metals and stones that the Most High gave us. We used it, right, in its purpose. Right? We use it to beautify and to glorify. All right? These are what these stones were made for. They weren't made to hide away, right? To capture, to kill over, and then give people paper money and they hide in the gold. We actually use the gold, right? Go ahead.
30 verse. And thou shalt set upon the table showbread before me always. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the candlestick be made.
Right?
His shaft and his branches, his bowls and his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same.
So what candlestick are we talking about now? It's called a menorah. So you on this table, you had the showbread. Those were the cakes, the unleavened cakes that we baked to the Most High. And you also have the actual menorah on the table. All right, this table kind of different. I don't know about that table. That table got levels. All right. Right, so we had the showbread and the menorah on the table. So we have a menorah right here. This would be a beaten work of pure gold, meaning that this wasn't made out of wood and overlaid. It actually was pure gold. Okay? So it's going to describe it in a minute. Go ahead.
"32. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it."
Right, so 6 branches shall come out the side. So you have the middle candlestick, and you have 3 branches coming out on one side, 3 branches coming out on the next. Right? This is the only true menorah. If you see a 9 branch, That's wickedness. Everybody understand that? This is what the menorah, this is what the candlestick looked like. Not 9 branches. You have to have 6 branches coming out of the center branch. Right? 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, evenly. Right? Go ahead.
3 branches of the candlestick out of one side, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side.
Right?
3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knot and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knot and a flower. So it's 6 branches that come out of the candlestick.
Right, so that's talking about where you hold the oil at. These are the bowl with the knot. The bowl with the knot. Each bowl like almonds. Okay, just giving you an example of what it looks like. Okay, go ahead.
And in the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knops and their flowers. And there shall be a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same.
Right.
According to the 6 branches that proceeded out of the candlestick.
Right, so these 2 have to be the same, these 2 have to be the same, and these 2 have to be the same. So now if this was a different type of menorah that they had different branches, you would at least have to have equal on each side. So sometimes you have different design menorahs, but for it to be correct, it has to have, if the outer one is a certain way, this one got to be the same way. If this one is different, this one has to be the same. Right? It has to be equal on both sides of the middle branch. Everybody understand that? Let's read.
36. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same.
Right?
All it shall be one beaten work of pure gold.
Right?
And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it.
Right?
And the tongues thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof shall be of pure gold.
Right, so they had each one of these bowls, you put the oil in and you light it. And then we had snuffs. Snuffs is what you out it with. Right? The tongs is what you use to, to put the hot, whatever they were using to light it with, the hot string inside the oil to light it with. All right, so that's how they went about to do the menorah, set the menorah up. Go ahead.
Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels, and look that thou make them after their pattern, which was showed thee in the mount.
Right.
26th chapter Exodus.
Right, so we had to make it according to the pattern that was shown onto us. We could not make the menorah any other way. Did everybody understand that?
And the knobs is the circles under the bowl.
Right. The knot and the bowls. Right. The knot and the bowl. So each knot has a bowl. They have to match on either side. Right. Now if you have different kinds of branches, it just has to mirror the other side. Okay, that's the key. It has to mirror both sides of the center candlestick. All right, so this is what the Most High required for our menorah. And he said we had to do it according to this pattern. Could not do it our own way. Could not. Now today they have what, like Kwanzaa, right? They have like this thing that has 7 branches, but it's doing all kind of different things. That's not what the Most High prescribed. All right, very specific. A candlestick, 3 out of one side, 3 out of the other side. Bowls on each. Each side has to mirror the other side. Okay? For this to be a menorah that the Most High sanctioned. Okay? So we got to be, mindful. Because I know people get creative, designer, and next thing you know, the menorah is off. Right? You went away from the instruction of the Most High. Okay? Chapter 26, verse 1.
Exodus 26 and 1. Moreover, thou shalt make a tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet.
What's the 3 colors? Blue, purple, and scarlet. Blue, purple, and scarlet. Okay, those are the 3 colors of the tabernacle. You might see it upon our garments. That's why we chose these garments. because it represents the blue, the purple, and the scarlet. Those are our colors. You know, like they have different countries have their flag and have what they call their colors. Zion colors is blue, purple, and scarlet. That's your color, your national colors. Everybody understand that? Let's read.
Second verse. And the length of one curtain shall be 8 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another.
Right.
And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage and the coupling. And likewise shalt thou make in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second.
So read that again. Verse 4.
And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage and the coupling.
Right, from the salvage in the coupling. Y'all should make loops of blue in the salvage in the edge of in the coupling. Now, what does that word salvage mean? S-E-L-V-E-D-G-E. So we can have an idea of what this is talking about.
I take a guess, or I have to know.
Or we can Google it. You know, we have technology. You know. Yeah.
The edge on either side of a woven or flattened fabric.
Right. So on the edge, we put these loops of blue. All right. On the edge, produced of woven fabric during the manufacture, prevents unraveling. Okay. So we put in loops of blue on the salvage to prevent what? Unraveling. All right. So today we call it what? A stitch. They stitch the edges so it wouldn't unravel. That's all it is saying. Right? You stitch the edge. Because when you use a stitching machine, you're actually making what? A loop with the machine. Right? Or if you do it by hand, anybody ever stitch anything, you're making a loop. Right? In and out, in and out, in and out, along the edge, so that what? The fabric wouldn't tear apart. Does everybody understand that? All right. Okay, let's read.
Fifth verse. 50 loops shalt thou make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shalt thou make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one of another.
That the what?
The loops may take hold one of another.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches, and it shall be one tabernacle. And thou shalt make curtains of goat's hair to be covered, to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shalt thou make. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. And the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And thou shalt couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and shall double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make 50 loops on the edge of the one curtain that is upmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And thou shalt make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches in the loops, and couple the tent together.
So now what is a tatch? What are the taches? What are these taches that you put of brass?
The loop that goes through the curtain and the curtain. No?
Almost 50 taches of brass. And the taches was used to what? To do what? What is it? Huh?
To clip it to each other.
To each other. The taches are there to clip the curtain to each other. All right. So this makes it one. You have many curtains, but you use the taches to make the curtain continuous, right? So that it doesn't open up. You can't see through the curtain, right? So the taches allow you to not see through the curtain, but to join each curtain to another one. And then you had the 11 curtains that's made out of what? Goat hair. What's up with those? Where those go? Kind of set it up with my hand, right? Where those go? That's the roof, right? That's the roof of the tabernacle. The 11 curtains that goes above. Why did they make out of goats here? Right. Okay. As part of it is the rain, but you're going to see further, they use skins and the goats to cover the top. All right. So now we're starting to see, here's some depictions here showing that there's levels that you overlay each curtain on top of the other one. But you had the taches that attach them to each other. So there's no space. Right? There's no space over these. So nothing can get through. Right? Let's read.
12th verse. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, and a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of rams, skin dyed red, and a covering above of badger skin. And thou shalt make a boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order one against another. Thus shalt thou make for all the boards of the tabernacle. Thou shalt make the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards on the south side, southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side, there shall be 20 boards. And there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under the one board, 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward, thou shalt make 6 boards. And 2 boards shalt thou make of the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath. And they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards. And their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and the 2 sockets under another board. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle, for the 2 sides westward.
Right, so now we're looking at the structure that holds up these curtains. All right, now we're looking at the structure that holds up the curtains. And it's all a socket talon architecture. Talons is like what you see at the edge of your drawer. Maybe your drawer in your dresser. You see how the wood has like a square jigs, like a puzzle coming together. Those are talons. That's how we held wood together. Okay, so why is it built this way? Because remember, this is something that needs to be able to be taken down and put back up, right? And when it's put back up, it's supposed to put back up exactly the way it was before. So they couldn't have screws and nails, but they had to pull the nails out and put the nails back in. So they had to be, everything had to be precise with sockets and talons, so everything interlocked in each other to show you the level of architectural knowledge that we had at this time, right? Because some people might maybe think that we didn't have the technology to do these type of things. But we obviously did. Everybody understand that? And they have to be precise. It couldn't be off. Everybody that do carpentry know 2 centimeters is a big deal down the line. It might seem like a little bit here, but if you're off by 2 centimeters, when you get down the other end, you're off by 2 feet. All right? So anybody do any kind of architectural or any kind of work like that, know that this has to be on point for this to work. For them to take it down, to put it back up over and over and over again, right?
So the Ammonite state, we still build houses that don't use any nails. It's based on how the wood is cut and put it together, makes a full house.
Where's that?
And it's in Japan.
In Japan?
Yeah, they made a house without any nails at all.
Right, a house without no nails.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
cut and fit together perfectly.
Right.
Sockets.
Everything fit together, man. That's a talent, right? That's knowledge. That's wisdom on a high level to build that way. Your house is put together solid with no nails, right? So we understood how to do things like this. We understood how to use rings and ouches, how to use clasps and ways of connecting things together and making it strong, right? Read on.
28th verse. And a middle bar in the midst of the boards shall reach from end to end. And thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars. And thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was showed thee in the mount.
Right.
And thou shalt make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twin linen of cunning work, with cherubims shall it be made. And thou shalt hang it upon the 4 pillars of shittim wood.
So not only were these curtains handmade, but when you looked at the curtains, what did you see in the curtains? What was in the curtains? Images of what? Cherubims. So they sewed images of cherubims within the fabric of the curtain. All right, so these are fine, cunning works. These are not just plain curtains. When you looked at the curtains, you seen the images of the cherubims in the curtains that was sewn into the fabric. So we made our fabrics. We actually put designs in our fabrics to show you what kind of people that we are. Everybody understand that? The level of industrial wisdom that the Most High imparted upon us and how to build, that's why Egypt prospered so much when we was in their land. Egypt's greatest accomplishments was while you was in that land. And when you left Egypt, Egypt did nothing after that. Why? Because their power left. Just like here in America, who do you think built America and everything that America be gloating about? You the ones that built all these things, right? You the ones that have propelled this place forward, right? And then gone all over the earth and propelled other places forward too by your presence, right? You know, our people have traveled, you know, this earth, and you see their mark everywhere they've been, man. You see our mark, right? You see that something is cut above, a little better. Who was here? You're going to find out that the Israelites was here, right? Go to ancient Japan, the Israelites was there. Ancient China, the Israelites was there, right? All these cultures on the earth. You're going to go through the history and realize when their greatness was set up, it was because we were there, all right? That's not by coincidence. We got to look into history and see our design. See our past, see where we at. You're going to see our stamp everywhere we go on the earth. All right? Oh, man, this artist went, okay. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what he said. The color kept repeating, but he got I guess that's supposed to be purple. Okay, I see what he's doing. All right. But that shows the curtains, it don't show the wood frame. It's when that shows the framing. Yeah. All right. Let's read on. It might be on the desktop because you've used it before several times. That shows the wood frame.
Exodus 26 and 32. And thou shalt hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the thatches, and thou mayest bring it thither within the veil of the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy.
Right, so that's called the Holy of Holies. The most holy. So where the ark went in, it went all the way to the back of this structure here, which was the most holy. But there's a veil that's before that, and that separates the most holy from the holy. Right? The holy had the table, you know, the showbread, all that's in the holies. But behind that veil was the Holy of Holies, or the most holy, where just the Ark of the Covenant sat. Right? Which the mercy seat sat on top of it, where the high priest would go in, right, to converse with the hosts of heaven. All right, let's read.
And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And thou shalt set the table without the veil, and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And thou shalt put the table on the north side, and thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold, and thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. 27 chapter Exodus.
Fine.
And thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof shall make of brass.
Right, so you went to church, they would call this table an altar. But is that what an altar looks like? What does an altar look like? What does the altar look like? An altar looks like a big grill. A big square grill. Right? That's what the altar looks like. Why? What upon the altar? The sacrifices and the burnt offerings went on the altar. Like a big square grill. Okay? I mean, that's what the altar would look like. It's an example of the altar. All right, so the altar is not the table. The altar is actually a place where they put the sacrifices on. Right? Which was outside of the holies. It was in the court. Right? So this was something that was done in the outer court. So you would see them sacrificing the animal and the smoke going up. You always see the smoke going up from the tabernacle. And it would be continuous. Right? Because there was sacrifices being continuously done in the outer court, continually being done. Right? Day and night, we had sacrifices going on. All right, let's read.
Second verse. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans, all the vessels thereof, thou shalt make of brass.
Why? Why do you think they made everything brass at the altar?
Because
Brass doesn't burn. Doesn't burn up. Doesn't melt, I should say. It burns, it doesn't melt. Right? It will come dark, and you can clean it, but it won't melt like gold will melt or silver will melt. So we understood we understood the dexterity of metals and which metals work best in which conditions. All right, this is all this knowledge that we had. Okay, the Most High gave it unto us. Okay, so don't think for a second we lived like caveman. We didn't know what fire did, right? That's false education from the so-called white man. Everybody understand that? Because you think that there was a time where you were like Neanderthals. You didn't know how to do anything. You didn't know what a wheel does. We always knew what a wheel did. Right? We always understood fire. From the time the Most High put us on this earth, we understood certain things. We were never without knowledge, without ability. Right? That's a false history that's taught to the people. Right? They say we were primal. We were primates at one time. And we evolved into this. That's nonsense. That's garbage that they teach us in the school system. We were never primates. We didn't evolve into this. We always had wisdom, knowledge. The Most High put us on this earth with wisdom and knowledge. Does everybody understand that? And He didn't just do it for us. Right? Who taught a bird how to make a nest? Right? They didn't go to bird school. Right? It's engrafted in their mind how to get these little sticks. You ever look at a bird's nest, how intricate it is?
Yeah.
It ain't that simple. You take a really good look at it, you're like, man, this guy took time. And they go and find the right size branches. All those branches will be almost equal in size. Break it and make a nest. Right? Now, up north going to Brooklyn, those pigeon nests would be off, right? But they got a lot of pollution, right? But when you come down south and you see these birds down there, they say they're thinking clearer, right? Because the nest is actually a circle. The nests up north used to be all looking crazy, I don't know. Right? Maybe they were drunk, I don't know, right? The air, something's wrong with the air up there. But when I came south and I saw a bird's nest, I said, wow, take a look at this nest. It's intricately made, spaced out and everything, right? Who taught this bird how to do this, man? So if a bird can know how to do that, why wouldn't we know how to build roads if we need roads? Or bridges if we got to get over the other side of the water, right? Or houses if we need some place to dwell in. This society makes us it dumbs us down, right? There's a lot of societies that every man know how to build a house, right? Do you know how to build a house? I'll be honest, I don't know how to build a house. I know how to use some tools, right? I could probably put something together. But this society dumbs us down, right? We don't have to go to school to know what salt do if we're going to make food, right? We should know how to cook, how to build on a certain level, how to put our clothes together, right? These are simple things that now have became complex, right? People don't know how to do these things. They're amazed when they see somebody, you made that? Right? You actually sewed it together? Right? It's really not that complicated, but it's complicated to us because we've been robbed of all that knowledge. Everybody understand that? This is simple knowledge. But now that simple knowledge is of great value because it's the ability to produce something. To take raw materials and produce something from raw materials. Right? What are you going to do? Well, maybe they'll.
Wrong with a stick.
He made a pool
With a stick. With a stick.
with a stick.
I want first dibs on that slave. send me his name.
Well, I guess this is a great example of being able to produce. Right? I was watching one of our activists, that talked about the condition of us as a people, and we have lost the ability to produce. Right? All we do is produce sweat nowadays. All we produce is sweat. We work. And we work for the day, and nothing has been created by our hands or our actions. Right? We took no raw material and then converted it into something that's of use. Right? This is a great talent that we have lost as a people. All right? All right, let's go back. You can leave until this construction. All right.
Exodus 27, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt make it for a network of brass, and upon a net shalt thou make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof.
So he made a network of brass for what? To put the animals upon, to put the fire underneath. That network of brass held the animal in place as it was roasted by fire. Go ahead.
And thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And thou shalt make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the two sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with boards shalt thou make it, as it was showed thee in the mount, so shall they make it. And thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle for the south side, southward. There shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of the 100 cubits long for one side.
Right, so now we're talking about the outer curtain. Now we're going to be talking about the curtain that goes around. So far, they showed us how to build the holy place. They showed us how we built the altar, the bronze altar. Now it's going into the hangings that go around the whole courtyard, right? So we're talking about these hangings here, right?
And 20 pillars thereof, and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver.
Right.
And likewise for the north side, in the length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long. And its 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillings of silver.
Right, so 100 cubits long is about how long? Who remembers? About how big is this court? Like a football field. About the size of a football field. About 300 feet, which is what, 100 yards. Right, it's near about 300 feet. That's about the size of this outer court. All right, a stadium. Okay, go ahead.
And for the breadth of the court, on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side, eastward, shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, and their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be a hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet, and a fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, and their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. And the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver, their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass.
Go ahead.
And the length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere. And the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass.
So 5 cubits high. So about how high was it? It was almost 15 feet, about 12 feet. So that's how tall these curtains were. They were 12 feet tall. So you couldn't see into the court. Okay? These curtains were high. 100 feet, or I say 100 yards one way, and about 50 yards across. So it was a big rectangular shape. That's why we use a football field for an example. Right? This is about how big it was. All right. Now we read in history something else was about this size. What was this size? You said Noah's boat.
Noah's Ark. The Ark.
Right, the ark was about the same size. To show you that this is not a foreign size. The size was made for a purpose. And everything that the Most High does, you see he does things, how could you say, you see his pattern. The Most High works with a pattern. All right, it's not random. The ark was his size. That's not a random, it wasn't randomly set up that way. It was set that way for a reason. And when we went to make the tabernacle, he made us make it the same size as Yahweh. Okay? Right? As an example, right? The Most High always sets forth his example or shows himself. All right? So we're building this tabernacle as a one that's going to be taken down and put back up. So that's why he's using curtains instead of walls, instead of brick, instead of mortar. In the time of Solomon, We rebuilt this tabernacle, but this time it was made of what? Of stone, because it wasn't going to be moved. All right, but because we're in the wilderness, right? He made it this way. Now you know the things that we do are a shadow of things that's in the heavens. So these structures are in the heavens as well. All right, these structures are in the heavens. So we have to understand that everything we do, it's a shadow. That's why it's done a particular way, and we cannot, I could say, deviate from what the Most High told us to do, because then we're not reflecting what is it that He's showing us. Okay, let's read.
19. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the servants thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass.
Well, that's it, right? Right, and that ends the portion for this Shabbat. Get the Most High hand for a wonderful portion. It's a short portion, right? All right, it's a short portion, but a lot of information on how we built our tabernacle, right? Knowing that these things are just a shadow of things to come, right? Give me Isaiah 4. Give me Isaiah 4. Oh, it's time for the... Okay. We have a lot of events coming up. We have preparation that we have to do and get ready for the Feast of Nicanor, Purim Day 1 and Purim Day 2. Right? So that's going to be, if I'm correct, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the week ahead. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to dwell together in brotherhood and sisterhood and glorify the Most High's His work and what He did for the children of Israel in times past. These are celebrations. These are days of observation that the Most High has given us to do. So we have Nicanor on Monday. Say it louder.
On general, ask for me to do the announcements, but
Right. Yeah, we're going to do that too, but we have preparation that we got to do. So I'm speaking about it because we're going to do a preparation list of who's bringing what, so that we're organized as we're coming into these feasts. So we're going to need to go around the room. All right, for day 1, for Nicanor, and then for Purim. All right. All right. So for
Unless the sisters, unless they, you want to organize a committee for the last day for the food, or that's what everybody does? It's going to be a gold trail. You gotta let me know. I know, but you can say no. You want everybody to bring?
So as we get prepared,
Did everybody bring?
all right, Sister Zaikwam. Here. You come. All right, so we need someone to scribe. Who can scribe for us as we go through and see who's bringing what for the Nicanor? You on top of it? All right, hallelujah. So this will be Monday at 7 p.m. We have Nicanor.
just so I can understand, how are we going to do it? We're going to say what we're bringing from both events, Nicanor and Purim, or we're going to do Nicanor first and then come back around? Like, I'm not sure.
I think we're going to do everything one time, but All right, so yeah. So we're going to do all three. So we call on you. We want to hear all three. Come? All three. Now, do remember that the second day of Purim won't be held at this location. The second day of Purim will be held at Gold Choice Ballroom in Margate, right? That's 345 State Road 7 in Margate. 345 State Road 7 in Margate. Okay, it's going to be held there. Now, along with your food donation, also we're accepting monetary donations, especially for the second day of Purim, because we rented that hall for us to enjoy. All right, so along with a food donation, we're asking for a $20 donation for that, for the renting of the hall. So we'll be looking forward for that, and you can bring that the day up as well to Gold Choice. But right now, we're just going to talk about the food and drink and utensil and burners, donations from everyone as we go around the room. Just put it out there so you can think already what you need to bring on those days. And we'll go from person to person as we go. So I guess we'll start with me. All right. All right, we'll start with me. Aliyah, let me know when you're ready. All right, so for Nicanor, put me down for kale salad. For first day of Purim, put me down for strong drink. And for the third day, put me down for burners. All right. Barzal.
Okay, for the first day, I'll bring my usual best sodas. And for the next two events, I'll bring a monetary donation.
Monetary donation for the 2 days of Purim.
Correct.
Okay.
Both days of Purim?
Yeah,
Yes.
monetary donation for both days of Purim. Sodas for Nicanor. All right. Akal?
Con. I'll go for the first day veggies, and then the second and third day monetary donation. Veggie surprise.
First day is ASAP. First day I'm gonna bring baked mac and cheese. I'm gonna try to find blueberry lemonade. And
You can make it.
that's true. Yes, the second and third day monetary donation.
Okay, we're going to be eating food for the second and third day so far.
Kind of. Zamar. All right, for the first day, strong drink.
Okay.
For the second and third day, chicken. The third day, monetary donation. Yeah, fried.
Okay.
Oh, you say third day donation.
Third day donation.
Okay.
Kind of.
I'm gonna do donation for the first day, and I'll bring drinks such as like wine for the first day of Purim, and for the last day, I don't know what type of rice, white rice, rice and beans, or yellow rice, or some type of rice.
Okay.
That's all right, Mom?
So those of us online who wish to take part, those that are local you could just type it within the chat. We'll see it. If you're online and you wish to donate or take part, just type it in the chat and we will make record of it.
Zora Quam, monetary donation.
Mm-hmm. Nicanor and Koran, again, monetary donation. Okay. So monetary donations across the board for all 3 days. Okay. Go ahead. Wanyamya.
Number 2.
Across the board, monetary donations? Okay.
They'll say across the board.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
So what I'm seeing is that we may have to have the committee sisters, because if everybody's doing, we're gonna need some assistance to fill in the gap. So well, let's continue to see how this goes. That's not normal. The brother's always holding it down.
Yes, the first day.
You look at that.
Judah.
All right, Judah.
All right, Judah, save us more. Save it.
I'm bringing the rice and peas on Nicanor.
Okay.
I'm doing Levitical rice and beans for the second day. First day, believe me, you're gonna love it. And chicken soup, a nice healthy pot, awesome pot of chicken soup.
That's what's up.
On the board. All right.
What's up?
All right.
All right. Brother, strike back.
We may have to get the general to validate that Levitical rice.
I got it.
Who is that? What is that? Okay.
Second day, third day donation.
All right.
Sister Maxine not gonna make it, so she will be safe.
Who said that?
Sister Maxine.
Maxine. Maxine. Okay, I know. So she's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Reason why maybe I'm working at night, so I'm gonna try to make it Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay. Understood. I'm gonna give you the announcement.
Try to make it at least the last day, because we're gonna have it in the gold choice, and that's when we have a gift exchange also on the last day. Who did not complete their thing? Did everybody complete it?
Aria, I don't know what I'm gonna bring, but I'm gonna see if I can come through with something all 3 days.
But you the one that set it up.
Oh, okay. We'll just put donate, but
We just gotta make sure we agree today.
It's a Muslim one. On the first day, I'm bringing mac and cheese. On the second day, I'm bringing wine. And then on the third day, I'm bringing curry chicken, water, and soda.
chicken, water, soda.
Lasharella. So the first day I'll bring same cups and spoons. Second day I'll bring burners. Third day I'll bring drinks.
Like regular soft drink?
Yeah.
Hold on, Zyko. I know what your question is. We're discussing it up here.
Jeremiah Barada. On the first day, we're going to bring jerk chicken. Second day, curry chicken. And third day, tofu.
don't know.
Okay, jerk chicken, curry chicken, tofu chicken. Got you.
Kashab. On the first day, strong drink. The second day, fruit salad. The third day, jerk chicken.
Fine.
Wakaya. First day,
Come.
collard greens.
Need that.
Yeah.
Second day, let's do some jerk chicken fried rice. Third day, baked chicken and strong drink.
All right. You got the Aliyah?
Yeah, collard greens, jerk chicken is something, and baked chicken is strong drink. Most of the jerk chicken, fried rice. Fried rice. All right, I'm sorry. Jerk chicken fried rice.
Jerk chicken fried rice? Interesting. That's interesting. Interesting. Hold on, Zyko. We're going to get that question. I got that question. I already got it in the banks. We're going to get that answer to you.
Yasharon. First day, I'm going to bring sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Second day, macaroni and cheese. And the third day, I'm going to bring to-go trays and strong drink.
To-go trays, strong drink. All right. There's questions up there? Oh, sorry.
It's Kazak. The first day I'm gonna bring dessert. The first day I'm gonna bring dessert, and the second and third day I bring drinks.
Yes, you can buy on those days.
Yakanan, for all 3 days, donation.
On the website for the exchange, they have
The first day, right? Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. This is Shamshawan. First day, donation. Second day,
where you buying the Holy of Holies?
donation. Third day, peppermint. Donations. I'm
Yeah,
one.
we gotta
Peppermint says donate. Your donation is the peppermint. On the Thursday. All right.
I'm one. For the first day, I'm bringing a donation, and then the last 2 days, I'm bringing wine.
All right, we're gonna need assistance to help us out. All right, Shamwada, you gonna help us out? What you got, Shamwada?
The first day, the second day, apple pie, and then the last day.
I didn't hear what you said for the first day.
Oh, the first day I'm gonna bring wine.
Wine?
Yeah, the second day apple pie, and then the last day wine again. So,
Thanks for helping out.
All right, Sister Deanna.
The first day, I'm gonna be black beans. I'm not sure if I'm coming the second day, but if I come, I will be some empanadas, some banana pudding. And on the third day, potato salad.
Did you get that, Aliyah? Because I didn't get it.
No, I really did.
Okay, I didn't get it either. I heard something about empanadas. I know I heard that.
On the first day, black beans.
Black beans. Got it.
And on the second day, on the first day, black beans and empanadas.
That's making more.
The second day, banana pudding.
Banana.
Banana pudding. And on the third day, potato salad.
You really gotta be quiet. Potato salad. Just say your name, just I'm sorry, I forgot. Alright, I'm ready again. Slow.
And we got the official caterer here. What's going on here? Who was on next?
First day, donation. Second, donation.
Hi, I'm sorry. With all honesty, I'm getting conflicting stories. I'm really confused. Yeah, ice cream. But the thing is what days are we at Gold Choice and what days are we doing the gifts? Because I'm hearing conflicting stories.
No, the first day, Corinne, we're doing a gift exchange, but the last day we're going to be at Gold Choice.
So the gift exchange is next Tuesday, 23rd. Okay.
This Tuesday.
Yeah, the 23rd.
Right. It's not that conflicted.
No, because I was hearing different stories.
It's okay.
I was hearing the gift exchange was also doing
It's okay, sis. We're gonna be okay. Are you bringing cones with the ice cream or just ice cream? Are you bringing cones with the ice cream or just ice cream? Any sprinkles, any cherry, anything like that, or just ice cream?
Sure. I'm gonna do for the first night it's gonna be cheesecake, bites.
Shamar.
Cake, bites. And then the other wait. Yeah, so
yes.
Banana pudding.
Yep, banana pudding.
Yeah. That's right. And then the second and third we'll do baked barbecue chicken.
So banana pudding and barbecue chicken. All right, fine. So the first day you bring sour and chicken.
Okay, so for Monday, barbecue chicken. For Tuesday, fried cauliflower and Alfredo pasta. And then for Wednesday, kale salad and oxtail.
Barbecue chicken, fried cauliflower with what? Alfredo?
Fried cauliflower and Alfredo pasta.
Okay, and then kale salad.
Kale salad and oxtail.
For Monday, it's
Shabbat.
going to be turkey loaf. Tuesday is going to be mashed sweet potato. And Wednesday, green beans.
You already see first day. Turkey wings. Turkey wings. You got it.
Barzal.
Who got next? Oh yes, I'm ready. I'm sorry.
The first day gonna be chow-mein.
Chow mein.
Yeah. And then the second day gonna be cabbage. And then the third day gonna be
So chow mein first day, cabbage second day, oxtail spinach. Got it. You got more? Oh, you want to switch it? So oxtail second day, third day, cabbage.
Yeah. Aliyah, let me intervene. Give you two from online. I got Shalom Yah. He's going to be bringing on the first day red velvet cake. Second day he's going to bring fried chicken, and third day he has wine and a donation. Third day donation and wine for the third day. Shalom Yah, first day, red velvet cake. Second day, fried chicken. Third day, donation and wine. Then I got Sister, go down, Sister Marlene. First day, Sister Bayath. First day, donation. Second day, curry chicken with rice, salmon.
So maybe the third day will be salmon.
I think the third day is salmon, yeah. I think the second day is curry chicken and rice. And then the third day is salmon. And then we got Abaria. First day, donation. Second day, jerk chicken. And I guess the third day, donation.
So the first day donation, second day jerk chicken, third day donation.
Right.
Fine. Got it.
All right, now you can go back to the sisters.
All right. All right, I'm ready for you.
Hold on, yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you. Listen. All right, go ahead.
First night, curry chicken. The second night, chocolate chip almond cookies and shepherd's pie. And then the third night, spinach Alfredo.
Okay.
So the second night he's bringing chocolate chip cookies and then shepherd's pie, chocolate what? Chocolate chip almond. And then shepherd pie. And third day you said what? Spinach Alfredo. The water, sis. I would like to London to those things. Hey, on me.
The first 2 days, I'll make brownies. Then the third day, I'll make either cake or lemon bread.
He says either cake or unleavened bread the third day and brownies for the first 2 days. You know we're going to eat all the brownies the first day, right? So you have to include that.
Yes, that's the second day.
Eat all the brownies. Okay, water.
first day, I'll make baked ziti. On the second day, I'll make stewed turkey. Yeah. On the third day, I'll make chocolate.
So we got baked ziti, stewed turkey on the second day, and chow mein. Got it. Go on, sis.
I'm going to pass it to Sister Hadassah.
Shalom, Sister Hadassah.
We have to unpair.
All 3 days I'm gonna bake something. Yeah. So Monday I'll probably do an assortment of cookies. Tuesday, I'll probably do Rice Krispies, brownies, and some other stuff. And then Wednesday, I'll probably do a combination of Monday and Tuesday.
Cookies, Rice Krispies and brownies, and the third day the combo.
Yes.
All right. All right. I know there was another donation in the back. Did you get that, Samuel? From Amathia. He was trying to tell you something. You put it in the chat? Oh, okay. All right. All right. Throw out for the donation, Christine. All right. So, okay.
I'm gonna add me for stir fry.
Stir fry on what day?
One of those days.
One of those days? Okay. Add it for stir fry, Adasa. For some sort of stir fry. One of those days. All right, so listen, let's say, yeah.
I got an announcement.
Okay.
The next family day will be on March 13th. We're going to go to Top Golf.
Okay.
It's going to be in the WhatsApp chat.
Tell them again.
All right, so the next family day, right, will be on March 13th. We'll go to Top Golf.
March 13th?
Yeah, March 13th. Top Golf.
Top Golf?
Yeah, come.
You know the address or the city?
It's going to be in the WhatsApp.
All right.
Yeah, come.
All right. So.
That was going to be in the WhatsApp.
How you got an announcement without information?
So what I'm gathering, there's going to be a family day on the 13th of March.
Yeah,
and it's going to be held at Top Golf.
Yeah,
Top Golf in Miami or in Palm Beach? Oh, is there?
I don't know.
Okay, we need to know that kind of information.
So who's putting it together?
I'm on one.
So where's on the one?
Outside.
All right, call him. I mean.
All right, so I want to say thank you for all your donations that makes this whole thing work. That is the spirit of the Most High, that we donate, that we come together, we gather to accomplish, whatever we're trying to accomplish. That's what the Most High wants us to do, to move as a body. Everybody doing their part, putting their brick in to build these events and to glorify his holy days. All right, it's great for our children to celebrate the days that's given to us in the scripture and not according to this society. Go ahead.
Everybody votes for the gift exchange?
March 13th is new.
Oh, yeah. That's true. We'll work that out with them. All right. The 13th is new moon. I'm going to realize that. Okay. Okay. We'll correct it when it comes to the family night, because the 13th is new moon. Well, we have the calendar here. right, so we'll get a better date. Oh, there he goes. All right, so again, we appreciate all the donations, the time that you spend. You know, it's recognized to make all these feasts, great for our families, to establish our culture in this time. All right, if we don't do this, no one is going to do it for us. Okay? We got to do this. We got to put our effort for it, our time, energy, strength, focus, right, to do the will of the Most High, to establish His will on this earth. All right, that's why we're His children. We're the rod of His inheritance. Right, so we don't establish His way, it will not be established. So to honor everybody and what they're bringing and their donations, and hopefully you bring it, everything early, on time. Remember, these feasts are starting at 7 p.m. That doesn't mean that we'd like you to be there a little earlier. If if you have dishes that need to be put in the racks and you have things that need to be put up, let's get there a little earlier so that we can have everything situated so we can have a good start and a great finish. All right.
Well, also, in preparation, when you bring in the food, you know the size of the large pan. And then there's a specific pans that fit in those pans, because when you don't bring the right pan, it makes it hard for us to place all the food. So there's a specific pan. Do we have any as a sample back there?
Well, the dollar store, if you go to the dollar store, that's where you can get it.
No, I'm not talking about the big one. If you're baking
the half pans.
The half pan. See if we have a sample.
No, that's a full pan.
That's a full pan. But the half pan, bring that pan. The half pan will fit equally. If you get two half pans, it will fit equally within this big pan. Because if you get a different size, it makes it hard to put somebody else's dish in the pan. Right. So if you're going to bring one big pan that fits into this, or if you're getting a half pan, make sure it equally fits into the big pan so we can place the food properly. Everybody understand that?
Dollar Tree, good spot to get them. We don't know where to get them from because some of these other places, they don't have them. So the Dollar Tree is a good spot to get the right size pan, right, that will fit. All right. Where else? They're flimsy? Oh.
Well, I usually go to. I get them at Walmart. Has like a 10-pack. You can go to Walmart. They sell a 10-pack, and you can get it from there.
And Costco also has a 30-pack. They're like $7.99.
All right. Okay, Costco's got a 30-pack. So you
So
got
get the
pans
30
for the rest
pack.
of the year.
Right. I don't know what the rest of the year, but maybe.
Why not?
2-3 new moons in the last year.
And you can get the one that you showed or the half one.
Right.
Okay. So check out Costco's. Those that have Costco's memberships.
Or if you don't have a Costco, somebody else has, give them the money to pick it up for you.
Right. So, at this time, we're embarking on the 9th hour. An hour of prayer, an hour that we ask the Most High to bless the children of Israel and to be with us and to heal those that are in need of healing, those that may have some infirmities in their body. So we're going to send those prayers up. I guess at this time. Right. We'll send those prayers up at this time. And let's meditate on all those that we know near and dear, and even those that we don't know, all of Israel that's in need of healing, because this nation needs to be
Did you have
healed.
the announcement that wasn't included already? Did something left out?
No, just eldership and Passover was on the list. That was it. Nothing else.
Oh, the eldership.
They've been announced what's that?
Well, do remember and don't forget, we had the eldership celebration for Marshall, reaching his 50th and his tenure in this word. So he's reaching his eldership induction on March 7th. And it's going to be at Gold Choice Ballroom March 7th. Do remember and don't forget, we also, the next new moon is March 13th, ushering in the month of Abib. And we have the next Passover is March 26th. All right, the location for that.
The Polish American Club.
Right, the Polish American Club. 975 Rock Island Road. 935 Rock Island Road in North Lauderdale, Florida. 935 Rock Island Road in Margate will be the Purim for 2021. I'm sorry, the Passover for 2021. Once again, March 26th, we're holding the Passover at the Polish American Club, 935 Rock Island Road in North Lauderdale. Okay. Passover donations, $50 for individuals, right? $100 for a family up until 4 people. $20 each additional family member. All right? Simple. All right? You put it in a chat or something? Oh, sorry. Was it in the chat? I'm sorry. I said it wrong? All right. Could you come correct it for me, please, sir? Thank you. Tell me, correct it. All right, the correct pricing, Captain Shashon will give you the correct pricing for the pastor.
75.
Huh?
Yeah. What we talking about?
So the single is 75. Yeah, single is 75 and the family is 125.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for the Passover, if you're single, it's $75, and for the family, it's 125, and each additional person is 25 when it comes to the family of 4.
A family above 4 is 25 each?
25 each.
Okay.
All right.
All right, say it again.
Shemai. For the Passover, if you're single, you come into the Passover, it's $75. If it's for a family of 4, it's 125. Each additional person with the family of 4 is 25 on top of that. Con? All right. Huh?
She wants to know, her question was, if she has a family of 4, do she still pay 75?
No, the family of 4 is 170.
125?
125. Huh? 2 extra on top of the 4? A family of 2 is 125. Because it's a family. You won't pay the single price because it's a family. Wait, yeah, understand it's 2 people, that's 150. Which would you rather pay, 150 or 125? I'll take the 150. So it's 2, up to 4. So if it's more than 1 person, it's 125. If you coming by yourself, it's 75. So since I'm coming by myself and probably my little girl, I gotta pay 75. No, I say if my little girl ain't gonna eat no steak, no lamb. No, but she's not eating. The baby is not eating. The baby, that's okay. That means you gotta pay with Gideon. Gideon is not eating nothing.
See what I'm saying? See, Israel, you can't do nothing with Israel.
So would you rather pay 75 per person? All right. So we said from 1 to 4.